Watch this program to learn all about alcohol-free beverage, but also HR and recruiting and AI and other stuff. And speaking about other stuff, this is a great article. So, not necessarily a problem. Gen Z employees are streaming TV while working from home. So, this whole article is based on a survey. And in the survey, it says that 84% of Gen Z are streaming TV while they're at home working. Lots of things to say on this. First and foremost, it was actually a survey of frequent streamers. So not really surprising that they are frequently streaming when they're supposed to be at work. So survey people, please do better. However, I think it throws up some interesting thoughts. There's a brilliant word in there, which I'm not sure I've heard before, but maybe I have. Productivity. So pretending to be productive. So people pretending to work while they're watching TV. There's a quote from our Return to the Office champion from last week, if you watched last week's show, JP Morgan CEO, Jamie Dimon, who is obviously disgusted and appalled that people are watching TV when they should be working. And this vindicates why companies should take people back to the office. So I've got a few things to say. First of all, productivity was not invented this year by people in Gen Z. Productivity has been a thing for a very long time. So just to say that. Also, this is a really interesting article because it's written in a way that's going to trigger every Gen X and every boomer all over the world that people are sitting and watching TV, generational issues, work from home issues, all that kind of stuff. I do not have any kind of issue with this whatsoever. I was sitting doing work last night watching TV, and I was actually quite productive. Ultimately, as an employer, if you don't know what it is that your employees are supposed to be delivering and whether they're delivering it, then it's your fault. It's your fault. Does it really matter? People who have the type of job that they can do at home like this, does it matter how they do it? It's not necessarily about skiving off. It could be about concentrating. It could be about just the balance of the day. The greatest thing about flexibility and working from home, it might be that your brain works better in the evening and it's better to watch TV in the afternoon if you've got no meetings, whatever it is. I remember being a boss of a team a long time ago, before work from home was really a thing, and getting into lots of trouble because I let them all wear headphones so they could block the noise out in the office. This was considered to be terrible because they had their heads down working really hard rather than talking to each other, which apparently was a bad thing, and it was their choice. So I really don't think this is an issue. I think, again, it kind of really highlights this problem that a lot of employers seem to have with actually understanding what their employees do all day or are supposed to do all day, and thinking that getting them back into the office and away from the TV is somehow going to solve this. Rhona, what do you think?
I loved the headline of this article. I agree with you. I think it's kind of like engagement rage bait type article because you're going to get people talking. It reminded me of a boss I had a few years ago. We were all working from home before it was cool. And he really likes many things about work from home. My job was resourcing, so it was a professional services company. You had to keep people busy in order to make money. Otherwise, you're just paying them and not getting money from them. His thing was every meeting, Rhona, make sure I don't want to be paying people to be watching TV. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that though? By the way, my TV is like right here. So while I was having meetings with him, I was actually watching TV as I was sitting here. I think going back to working in person, did we not all work at offices where the TV was going with the news or with some sports thing? I didn't want to watch any of those or
Mm.
the radio, someone like
Mm.
the office manager or the receptionist decided what we all listen to on the radio. I mean, it's the same thing. I personally work with music. I use something called Brain FM because I like have issues
I love that. Great
focusing.
stuff. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brain FM is on all day while I'm working. Also my TV shows and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need to hear people in the background. The productivity thing, I just cracked up because come on. I think I learned how to fake work from the older people, the older generations at work, because let's face it, who works on Fridays? Who works the day before a holiday? There's a bunch of people walking around the office acting as if they were working, to the point where my Fridays, the way I say happy Friday to my teams, any team I've worked with, is happy Friday. Hope you're not doing actual work and just pretending today.
I think there's two more things for me. I think the excuse me, the point you made about the radio is perfect, because certainly in the UK, maybe not so much anymore, but certainly, I remember when people had the radio on in the office when I was kind of first starting to work. The radio stations would do shout outs to people's offices. It's like, hey, everyone in
Yeah.
the so and so department of so and so, give us a shout. So, not a new thing. Also, Gen Z, we're talking about the generation that invented dual screening or even triple screening. We're talking about people who can who actually concentrate better when they're looking at multiple screens. So, yeah, great article, but I think we're quite aligned on this one. If anyone disagrees, please write us in the comments and tell us why you don't think people should be watching TV at work.